Hi everybody, it's time for yet another video about climate change. And we bet you are getting pretty sick and tired of being told all about all the bad things that could happen to our planet.
Well, guess what? This presentation is going to be completely different. Get yourself nice and comfy, and instead of the usual doom, gloom and everything going wrong, let's be positive and see what we can all do to actually stop all these bad things happening in Essex.
If we work together and make small changes to our lifestyles, then we can create massive positive change.
We're privileged to have the Essex Climate Action Commission, whose sole purpose is to sort this all out for the people and landscape of Essex.
So we can lead the UK in tackling climate change. Essex is proud.
This is a collaboration between local politicians, academics, students and in fact people from all walks of life, and we all have one common goal. They want to give the people of Essex a fighting chance of us all fighting back against the effects of climate change by making recommendations about what needs to be done now before it's too late. This commission is just one part of the Grand Green Essex Plan.
So how could climate change impact upon Essex specifically? And how can we mere normal people help stop it?
It's far easier than you think. For starters, having more than 350 miles of coastline should set off alarm bells.
Excessive vehicle emissions, over-farming and a reliance on single-use plastics are all contributors to global warming and rising sea levels. Well, so what? Yeah, we've all heard this all before. What does that mean in Essex? Well, with a warmer atmosphere holding on to more water and then releasing it accordingly, that means that parts of Mersey and Clacton could be underwater by 2050.
On top of that, Southend-on-Sea could easily become Southend-under-Sea in some areas of the city. At the other end of the scale, periods of drought could make parts of this county drier than the Middle East. We're already one of the driest in the country. Although this could mean Essex bidding to host a future World Cup, water shortages are not to be taken lightly.
Why not try cycling instead of taking the car on the school run? That can seriously cut carbon emissions by up to 7 times. And we're not even going to mention the health benefits for you guys. Well, I just did actually, but I won't bang on about it for too long.
Rewilding areas of land, recycling more food waste and planting trees will also cut our county's carbon footprint.
For many people in Essex, just saying A127 can be enough to make you come out in a cold sweat because of fond memories of literally every single resident of the universe heading down to Southend when the sun's out.
But there are actually bigger things to worry about when it comes to our famous arterial. There are some areas of Basildon around this road where tests have identified that levels of nitrogen dioxide exceed legal limits as set by the European Air Quality Directive.
Is it really fair that the people who live there get punished because of the driving habits of people who are simply passing through?
9 out of 10 people who live in the affected areas are technically breathing air that goes against the WHO guidelines on pollutants, which seems, well, a little bit crazy when you consider that there are railways directly linking the north to the south of the A127 that offer a far greener alternative to us using our own private cars. There's also big plans in place to plant more and more cotoneaster plants, which help to absorb as much of the bad stuff from the atmosphere as possible.
Making our homes more energy efficient won't just affect your bottom line with lower energy bills. Things like triple glazing and switching to renewable energy will drive your energy consumption down and slash the associated carbon emissions in the process. There are often government and provider initiatives to drive down the initial cost of these home modifications, so make sure you keep an eye out.
Around 10% of all homes in Essex are listed, and this makes it difficult or even impossible to retrofit them with energy-efficient technology. However, making all new homes carbon negative will help offset this, and this is the prominent part of the Essex-wide plan for years ahead.
Speaking of planning,
there is also a lot of work going on to support the essential Essex farming community in the near future, as they too have recognised that they have a role to play in fighting climate change.
A whopping 61% of all land in Essex is used for farming.
And it's clear that switching to stewardship or low tillage farming will protect the soil from damage and leave more plants and flowers to absorb the carbon from the atmosphere. Less agricultural activity will also mean lower carbon emissions in the first place.
The goal for Essex by 2040 is to have 30% of all of the land area, including 30% of the urban area, to be either wild or to be natural green infrastructure. This would also do wonders for Essex's biodiversity.
In Essex, if we can deal with climate change in the near future first of all, it will be far easier to tackle the challenges to come beyond that which will affect our children, our grandchildren, and probably even our great-grandchildren.
We hope that we have inspired you to change at least one thing in your everyday life or even more.
But it's clear that if we can all do at least one thing, then that's probably far better than none of us doing anything at all.
Nobody wants the gondola to become the vehicle of choice in many of our seaside towns.
Imagine all that singing as well.